Good evening and welcome to a video edition of JazzE-Lounge. And it is the eve before Juneteenth in America. It's June 18th, 2020. And this year is pretty incredible when it comes to a significance in history. And being that tomorrow is Juneteenth in America, many people have finally understood the significance in the history. And it's actually due to Trump. Trump actually brought Juneteenth to an awareness this year. Um, Trump, who was scheduled to campaign this year in Tulsa, Oklahoma on June 19th. And according to Trump, some of his black friends brought it to his attention that two things were wrong with him going to campaign not only in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but on June 19th. And white people didn't know what was going on. Some black people didn't know what was going on either. Asians didn't know what was going on. Some people who speak Spanish didn't know what was going on either. But if you know your history, you know that two things are very significant about Tulsa, Oklahoma, as well as June 19th. Well, on June 19th, 1865, was the year and the day in which all of the United States knew that slavery was over. Okay, that's the first part. Secondly, 99 years ago, Memorial Day weekend, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was the worst race riot recorded in America. There is a town called Greenwood that is right outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And in this particular town of Greenwood, there were very prominent African Americans that lived there. According to our history, there were dozens of black-owned businesses, hundreds, when you include churches and schools, and when you include manufacturing. It was hundreds of wealthy black people who lived in this area. Well, one day, a white girl, this is the same story we hear all the time, isn't it? A white girl claimed she was harassed by a black man. Come on now, 99 years ago, y'all still saying the same thing, really? She accused this black man of harassing her, and that set off the Ku Klux Klan and all the racist mobs in Tulsa. That set them off to the point where they didn't ask questions. They didn't find out nothing from the girl. They ain't say nothing. They just went, got liquored up. What they do, they go get liquored up. They form a mob, and they go and harass black people. That's what they do. That's what they've always done. So don't get that twisted. So in Tulsa, Oklahoma, not only did they get liquored up and go harass the town, they burned the town down. Burned businesses, churches, schools, manufacturing companies, banks. The wealth that was lost in Tulsa, Oklahoma is immeasurable. You can't even put a value on it today. But I do know one thing. Black people should be sitting real nice right now if they did not burn that town down. So that's the significance of Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was the worst race riot in America that was recorded. So for Trump and his tactics and his ways and his agenda to go to a town where historically white folks burned down the black wealth, it was not a smart move. But the fact that he scheduled his event on that day, this lets you know he's not aware of too many things. One is the plight of the black American. He don't know what he's talking about. He don't know nothing. June 19th, and I'm going to keep this brief. Getting back to that. I read an article in the Plain Dealer, which is a Cleveland newspaper. They wanted to know if June 19th, it should be a holiday. Well, what people don't understand and what people don't realize is that the emancipation of slavery to some should have never taken place. Black people to some should still be slaves. So if you ask some, no, Juneteenth should be no holiday. We don't want black people to be free. No, 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 no. But to others, sure, it should be, because that's a significant time in this culture, like the July 4th, freedom. Everybody celebrate July 4th. You won't celebrate the freedom of black people? Well, that's pretty interesting. But it should be a holiday to everybody, especially people that look like you and me. But I want to say something else, because people don't know about Carnival. Carnival in London, England, and in Trinidad, where it began, Brazil, that's also a day to celebrate the emancipation of slaves in the Caribbean and in Brazil. And there's a big holiday in London, England. It's the Notting Hill Carnival, and that day is designated as a holiday. It's a bank holiday. Everything is shut down because people want to celebrate the emancipation, the freedom of black people. So tonight, on the eve of Juneteenth, we are going to celebrate, just like they do in Carnival, in other parts of the world, the day before the holiday. You get it in, you celebrate, you pump it up. So I want you to do the same. Google your history, find out what's going on. I'm signing off. This is Lamarash. Ciao for now.